What's up, guys? Today I'm going to be explaining why the Pittsburgh Steelers are going to win the 2021 Super Bowl. I am a Pittsburgh fan, I can't deny it. But if you go on YouTube, you look at the plays from last year, you look at what's going on right now, there is no doubt in my mind. Or I was reading comments on like TJ Watt videos talking about Ben's return, how Pittsburgh's going to look scary. They're right. And I'm going to be explaining, like player by player, how they're going to impact the Steelers next year. And I've already predicted their schedule, and the NFL has already rated from easiest to hardest schedules in the league. Baltimore has the easiest schedule in the league, and Pittsburgh has the second easiest schedule in the league. So that's very favorable for them to win many games. So with that aside, let's start with the players. So most importantly, we have to start with Ben Roethlisberger. So Ben Roethlisberger, he was out for 14 games last season. He played the first two and then got injured at home against Seattle. And this was absolutely devastating for the Steelers because it showed how great they were without him, even though they didn't make the playoffs. Their offense was not good, but their defense was spectacular. And one of the pros from him getting injured actually is that we probably never would have traded for Minkah Fitzpatrick, who absolutely turned our team around that season. It looked like we were going to have a really bad record, but the Pittsburgh Steelers ended up 8-8, and at a time we're 8-5, I believe. They lost the last 3 games, but nothing I can do about that. So with Ben's return, this offense is going to look a lot better from last season. As you may know, Ben Roethlisberger, he's led the league multiple times. Probably not multiple times, but he's led the league in yards. 2 years ago, the last season they had AB in 2018 and 2019. He had the most. He led the league in yards. That offense was basically unstoppable, but it was not coached right, and they didn't even make the playoffs. But with Ben Roethlisberger's talents back, this team offensively should get a lot better. And you're probably just saying you lost AB, you lost Le'Veon. Well, that brings me to the next 3 players on this list that I'll just group together. So we do have Juju Smith-Schuster, James Washington, and the most importantly, Deontay Johnson. So this wide receiver trio, Deontay Johnson was a rookie last season. James Washington, this is his second season, so this is actually coming up to his third. But his first season, he basically never played. In the second season last year, he got a lot more snaps. So this is basically his junior year. We got Juju Smith-Schuster, the senior, and this dude has proven that he has talent. And with Ben Roethlisberger back, we can see that these 3 wide receivers are going to be lighting up the league next season. I believe Juju and Deontay are going to be wide receiver 1, and with them cover the whole time, James Washington or Deontay Johnson, they're going to be breakout stars next season. They can carry this offense, but without, I believe like the QB wide receivers, they're going to be good next year. But what's missing, probably the weakest spot in Pittsburgh's offense, is that running back spot. I do say this because James Conner, he did get injured last season a lot, and he was not reliable at all. He did play really good. He is a beast. Like James Conner, you're a beast. He did play good last season. He played good last season before that. But he's just an injury monster. Their backup running back, Jalen Samuels, has proven that he can be a starting running back. But at the same time, he wouldn't compare to the other running backs in the league, like Kamara, Saquon, Dalvin Cook. And that's probably Pittsburgh's weakest spot on the offense. I believe they'll probably draft like DeAndre Swift, maybe the Ohio State J.K. Dobbins, the LSU running back, can't pronounce his name. It's like something, I don't know. But the last and maybe most important part of the offense that they fixed over the offseason was the tight end position. So they did have Jesse James for a couple of years, and he just wanted out of Pittsburgh last season. I don't know why. Maybe people didn't like him, but he was decent enough for them to do good. So they picked up Vance McDonald, and he is a beast, but he hasn't been getting enough attention that he deserves, mostly because of the injuries, the bad offense last season with Duck Hodges, Mason Rudolph. But I believe this season Vance McDonald is going to light up. And I also say this because Eric Ebron, maybe the best signing of the offseason. Obviously not in the whole league, but obviously for the Steelers, this is the best signing for them. And Eric Ebron was a beast 2 years ago with Andrew Luck as his quarterback. Freaking like 13 touchdowns, amazing stats. So Eric Ebron and Vance McDonald just adds to the offense. Eric Ebron's already been talking about how Ben Roethlisberger's the best quarterback he's played with, even though he hasn't even played a game yet. That's how good of a dude he is. They're going to pop off. This offense is going to be great next season. So, moving on to defense. And this is very, very, very easy to talk about because their defense was lighting it up last season. Their defense basically carried them every game, and I would consider them to have maybe the best defense in the league. The Steelers do have one of the best defensive lines in the league, basically stopping every rush attempt from every team they've played against. Literally no team to go against them. Look at the fantasy running back points. It's not good. So you got to give credit Tyson Alualu, Cam Hayward for running the amazing defense. He's obviously the captain. Javon Hargrave, he left the Steelers to go to the other side of the state, play in Philly. What a loser. So they're going to replace him in the draft. They got Stephon Tuitt. This defensive line it's a beast, and more players will be talked about later. So they had the most takeaways because of two key players, Joe Hayden and Minkah Fitzpatrick. So Joe Hayden, starting off with him, he signed with Pittsburgh a couple years ago from Cleveland, and he's just been balling out, interceptions for days, and he's been playing really good for Pittsburgh. There's nothing else I can say about it. But the trade, like week 5 into the season for Minkah Fitzpatrick, is maybe one of the smartest things Pittsburgh's done in a long time. And I say this because they traded a first round pick. People are like, bruh, but look at what he did. He literally turned the team around from a losing record to a winning record. Literally, one play in a game, and that's the reason why they won, because of him. Against the Colts, he got a pick six, like a 99-yard pick six. That was maybe one of the best plays I've seen. He just completely turns games around. He got 2 picks against the Dolphins, his former team, and that is why Pittsburgh's secondary, their safeties, all that, it's gonna be great next year. But maybe one of the most unstoppable players in the league, I believe, should win Defensive Player of the Year next season, T.J. Watt. So, oh my God, this dude's a beast. So they do have T.J. Watt, and they do have Bud Dupree, who signed a 1-year franchise tag, which ain't bad. I wish they could sign him to a long-term deal. But starting with Bud Dupree, without him and T.J. Watt combined for too many sacks last season. T.J. Watt's stats were just amazing. You look at T.J. Watt's play, you're like, dang, bro, he did better. Honestly, he did better than J.J. in his first 3 seasons of the league. I don't think Stephon Gilmore should have won DPOY last season. I think T.J. should have. He got scammed out of that. But easily, T.J. Watt is a monster. He turns games around, just like Minkah. Like, those two players are key on the defense. And he does this by he gets to the quarterback, he just completely dunks on the QB, and either half the time he tries stripping the ball from them, or he easily gets that like 20-yard sack. So we're going to be seeing a lot of that. He also had a couple of key interceptions last season against like Cardinals and stuff. And we're going to see, he's a Watt, dude. He is a Watt. And one of the key aspects, one of the qualities of a Watt is that they never, ever, ever stop fighting. And this dude is just a beast. So I'm going to expect a lot from the Pittsburgh Steelers next season. So they did sign TJ Watt's brother, Derek Watt, and he is actually on the offensive side of the ball as a fullback. And that'll easily help the Steelers because Roosevelt Nix was just injured last season. And he actually was very good for the Steelers. But those injuries just got to him. It got to the Steelers, and they just released him. One of Pittsburgh's weak spots is the linebacker position. So you may know that they traded up to draft Devin Bush in the draft last season. And he's a speedy beast, and his rookie season he had most of the starting time over Mark Barron, and he probably will evolve into a better linebacker in the incoming years. But at the same time, they did drop the other linebackers, including Mark Barron, and this just isn't good news for Pittsburgh because they literally only had Devin Bush, and this is only his second season, so they're going to have to either sign or draft some linebackers to fill that problem. So with that all said and done, I believe the Pittsburgh Steelers are going to be a great team next season, and I really do believe that this team can win the Super Bowl. With all the talent that they have, Ben Roethlisberger's return, the wide receivers are emerging. We'll see. So, thanks for watching, guys. Hope you enjoyed. Leave a comment down below what you think. And that's it. Adios.